Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Shuaib Khan and welcome back to Maxafter.com. Today's tutorial is unusually short one and also very informative one and very useful as well. Actually, recently I came across a project which was huge. I mean, it was literally huge in terms of size. The size was just enormous, gigantic. You can't even take a wild guess how big the size was in terms of pixels, you know. If you talk about HD, it was way bigger than that, you know. So it was for a presentation, so the size was around 25,000 pixels by 576. The width was 25,000 pixels by 576. So since it's a huge size, so I had to divide the composition into three and work simultaneously, you know, by doing the exactly same thing in all three compositions, so that when you combine it should look like one big picture. So it was like for 360 degrees, you know. So in that project there was one of the tasks was to create a skyline, you know, to create looping clouds so that they keep on looping, you know, for 2 hours. So now there are two methods. One is either you make clouds with a timeline of 2 hours and then you render that 2 hours and that the size of the project will be gigantic, or just make clouds for 10 seconds or 30 seconds and make them loop. So that's what I did actually. So this project is about how to create a seamless loop, right? So this is what we would be doing in this project. As you can see, the sea is moving, the clouds are moving, and it's seamless and it keeps on looping. If you see any jerks in the video, it's just because I'm recording and skipping frames, so probably you might see some jerks, but it is very smooth and it's seamless and goes on and on, right? So this is what we would be doing today. Not very difficult, very short. I hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. Okay, let's start by first making a new comp. We come here and click create a new comp and we get the sizes 977, 550 and 10 seconds of duration, and we click OK. So here we are, and we go to the layer and we create a new solid, which is basically the BG background, and make comp size, and this is basically the skyline. So we come here and we type ramp. So, and the ramp, we apply ramp to it, and this is basically the top, the sky and the sea, and we create the sky, and this is the bottom, which is the sea. Remember, this tutorial is about the loop, not creating the skyline, so I'll just go through it quickly. Okay, and we'll create another layer, new solid, and this is our sky. Make comp size, okay. We come here and we type fractal noise. We get fractal noise, apply. So this is our basic fractal noise. Before we start everything, let's adjust the sky first. We just change it to 3D layer, press R and let's say 90, and we move it up here. Scale it, move it down, and again scale it. Basically just need to adjust your skyline, and change this to 93, change this to minus 93, sorry, and we bring it down here. Let's apply mask to it, and supplies elliptical tool mask, and then you go to press M. So because we need feathered, you know, we need feathered edges. If you press F, and you can see we get the feathered edges. So if we go to the layer itself, this is our mask. So let's just scale it down a little bit more. You come down, as we can see that it's been adjusted. Double click here again if you want more. We go back. So these are basically the clouds, and now if you click on the layer and right click and change it to screen, you'll get this nice effect of clouds. So here we come to the fractal noise panel, where it's right now fractal type is basic, so we change this to dynamic, looks more like cloud, and we change the contrast to 122 and 5. Remember that I know these values because I've done this tutorial before, so I don't want to spend too much time in playing around with the values. So we come down to the transform here. Right now the transform is uniform scaling, so we uncheck it, we get these two panels here, scale width and height. So you can play around with it, but for now I'm going to put 285 and 195. Remember, these values only work with the size of the comp that I'm working. If you try to put these values in another comp which is, size is bigger, like HD, then these values needs to change. So next step is we scroll down and we come to evolution, and in evolution we just put a keyframe here at frame 0, press U and you'll get this keyframe will be revealed, and you go to end of the frame and you type 2 here. So now you can see the clouds moving in a very nice slow motion, right? But now what's happening is the cloud are still, they are not moving towards the camera. So what we need to do is turn on the perspective offset, and we can make them actually move towards us, towards the camera. So come down to frame 0 and we put a keyframe here, offset. If you press U, you'll find here the keyframe, and you go to 10 seconds and move it towards us as much as you want. It depends, if you want if you want them to move faster towards you, you can just increase it more, So here we go. So we've got our clouds. Now what we do is close this, and what I'm going to do now is just click this layer and Control D, and I'll name this C, right? And then I'll bring it down, and I'll change the rotation a little bit here to get the right angle. Right, so this is our skyline here. Now what I'm going to do is I will just delete effect, and I'll just delete this fractal noise. To speed up the process, what I'm going to do is I'll go to effects and presets, and I think you can't see the panel right now, but if you go down to browse presets, click browse presets, and it'll take forever to come up. Okay, so you've got this huge panel opened. Let me scale it down. Right, so you come down to backgrounds. So in backgrounds we've got backgrounds already different kind of presets here. So we come down and we come to Silk FFX here. But before applying it, what we need to do is we have to come back to frame 0 and then apply it. So all you need to do is select the layer that you need to apply and just double click. Voila, here you go, it's applied, as you can see. The keyframe ends here, so what we need to do is we just bring it 10 seconds. Right, now double click this and we are here already. So now we need to change the values for the C. Okay, what we need to do here is we come down to scale and change this scale here to 20 and this to 10. So we get this effect here, and we further come down here and we see there's find edges. We come down to find edges and we just click invert and change this to around 56. So we get this nice effect here, and what we do is we just come down and we will change the colors here. So we'll change the colors to this one to, let's say, some nice colors. So you get this nice effect. So as you can see that we've got our sea and clouds. Right. So now, we've made our clouds, our skyline here, a quick one, Okay. The next step, what we'll do is we'll add a new adjustment layer. In the adjustment layer, we just go to Effect, Color Correction, and Photo Filter, so that you get this nice underwater effect here. And we can turn it down a little bit, and you can also apply, lens flare to it as well, just to get a nice effect here. So just bring it here. So we just move the lens flare. You put a keyframe here, yeah, and go to 10 seconds, and we put another keyframe there. So you get this nice lens effect here as well. Now what we'll do is we go to Project, and this is our composition that we've been working, and we'll put this composition into another composition. So we got this one layer here. So now let's render it, see how it looks. Okay, so this is how it looks, and we've got our clouds moving, and now you'll see a jerk here. That's it. So this is what happens, when it's not a perfect loop. So now what you can do, now you can create a loop, So the easiest way of creating a loop is we go to the center of roughly to the center of the comp here, and then we just split the layer. So now we've got these two layers. So what we'll do is we'll take the bottom one and put it here, yeah, and take this one, the top one, on the left, yeah. Basically is the beginning and the end that has to match. The next step is now take this one and Control D and put it on the top, and this is the original layer. If you bring it to here and you open it, this is our original comp. So what we can do is just chop it, and press I, and we go press T on the keyboard, and we put keyframe for opacity 0, and here let's say it starts 100, and we put another one 100, and we just put 0 here. So now let's render and see. Right, so we've rendered our comp here. Now you'll see that it's a perfect loop. When it comes here at the end, it should not jerk. See, now it's going here, and you can see the clouds changing, everything comes here and there. So this is how you create a perfect loop, and it's a very easy method of creating a perfect loop. So I hope you have enjoyed this short tutorial. It's a very useful method, so that you can use in your future projects if you have to create a loop. So I'll catch up with you next time. Take care of yourselves. This is Shuaib from Maxafter.com. Assalamu alaikum.